I'm Paul Snively. I'm with Formation. I'm a senior software engineer, and I live in Asheville, North Carolina. What am I building? Well, I'm building a personalized ad technology platform that we contract with several clients to help them with their loyalty programs in particular. What's the coolest thing about it? I think the coolest thing about it from a feature standpoint is that it offers customers the opportunity to engage in a multi-step process that increases their appreciation and success in getting what they want from our clients, and helps our clients, of course, with revenue. From a technical perspective, what's coolest about it is we're using a combination of Haskell and Scala. We're doing a lot of functional programming, and we're making pretty sophisticated use of some pretty cutting-edge technology that some of my colleagues have talked about here, like the DAL language for configuration, things like that. Well, that's a really hard question. It's really hard to separate them, especially these days, I think, because you can't really separate out, especially if you're doing functional programming, you can't really separate out, okay, the functional track from the data track, for example. If you're doing machine learning at all, you are going to benefit a lot from the data track. If you're a functional programmer, or if you're just curious about functional programming, you're going to benefit from the functional track. So it's really hard to say. I think just the way it's played out for me this year, I've spent most of my time on the data track. Best practices. Well, I personally and Formation as a company are very committed to purely functional programming. There are technical reasons for that and aesthetic reasons for that. So to me, best practices sort of by definition means the things that are going to help you write correct code, but also maintainable code, code that is not only functionally correct, but that other people can understand. And my presentation here today, in fact very shortly, is really about that intersection, the intersection of functional correctness and legibility, maintainability. I'm really interested in data management at extreme scale, because I think most developers today are in a position where they have to deal with increasing amounts of data in more or less real time, and that has just huge infrastructure challenges, which some of the other presenters here have discussed in some length. So I think the thing that I'm coming away with most is an appreciation of some of the challenges inherent in large-scale data management and doing that reliably and cleanly. Yeah, really great question, and it's interesting for me to reflect here at this point personally, because my son is one of the volunteers here, and he works at Twilio using Scala. So it's literally a father-son thing for us at this point. And Alexei has proposed maybe some sort of larger discussion with some combination of family members who are both in the industry to discuss that, at some length. So for me, personally, it's an opportunity to apply some of the functional programming ideas that I've always been interested in technically. I've been very fortunate to do Scala professionally for about 8 years now. And for the next 15, boy, it's hard to say when you look at the landscape and you see the rise of things like PureScript on the front end, TypeScript, ReasonML, If you squint at Rust, you can see it as a functional programming language, and there are some libraries very similar to libraries that are available for Scala that help make it even more useful as a functional language. So I think the next 15 years we're going to see the continuation of the trend of acceptance in functional programming, and in particular it's going to be very exciting to see what happens with the evolution of the so-called systems programming languages like Rust and Swift and so on. Things or people? Gosh. Well, I just earlier took pictures and shared them on Twitter of Brian Clapper and Runar Bjarnason and Paul Chiasano and John Azaria talking on one side, and Martin Odersky and Rob Norris and oh gosh, I'm forgetting one now, but a similar group on the other side, all within a radius of about 3 feet, 4 feet, and that's a lot of like I said on Twitter, the bus factor there is incalculable. It's just an amazing collection of, again, unbelievably engaged, thoughtful, supportive, energized people in the industry.